action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Cyberverse Ultra Class Shockwave with Shock Blast for the package. Very simple. You got this nice open package that allows you to kind of touch them. Can't really do anything else other than touch them, I guess. You got some nice art of his little crab alternate mode. You got his robot mode there in the back. On the back of the package, you can see that he transforms in 14 steps. I think that's being a little bit generous with the steps. He is evil, and his function is a twisted scientist. And then down here, you got other figures in this new Ultra line, including Shadow Striker and obviously Bumblebee. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Okay, so here we have Shockwave opened up out of his packaging and in his crab cannon mode. I don't know what you call this. It's ridiculous. The one thing that he does have going for him is that he's got a very nice purple and pink color to him, which happens to be my girlfriend's favorite. And she's come to the realization that apparently purple is evil because all the Decepticons are purple. And you know what? The Decepticon logo's also purple. So yeah, they're bad guys. But this is his like backwards crab walking. I mean, you can totally see his legs. He just like he stands and then woo, I'm just gonna walk backwards. I don't even know. This feels like it's just putting his arms backwards and putting his legs backwards. This is kind of cool though. This is like in the shape right here of a Decepticon logo that's molded in there. That's kind of neat. Colors look really good on it though. I mean, he has some pretty decent colors. The purple does look good. The silver on here, he's got some gray blob. The pink looks really pretty nice. Again, you get some extra silver for obviously what's going to become his chest, but I can't for the life of me figure this out. For the gimmick, his shock blast, you got this little lever right here. It's kind of difficult to do because it doesn't really lock in. You kind of have to hold it and then pull it back, and that's what springs out. They tried to make it look like I don't even know what they tried to make it look like, honestly. I mean, it looks like an effect. I'm not a big fan of that. And then trying to put it back is a giant pain. I mean, it doesn't really, like I said, it doesn't really go back very easily. I mean, you kind of have to keep it there. And it just, yeah, it's not a very fluid motion with it, but I mean, you can kind of get it. I don't feel like this would be very fun for a kid, to be totally honest with you. At least the gimmick. I mean, the toy, I mean, it is what it is. To transform them, you take the legs and you straighten them out like so. Take this entire assembly here, rotate that around. Kind of take this. It's a little bit easier to do it like this. Rotate this around like so, and then take this whole thing, bring this down. Obviously, that reveals his head. And then this, you collapse up. Do that on both sides. There we go, like that. And then you take this, and you collapse this up and into his side bit here. Although, I'm trying to remember if it goes like this. I think maybe it goes like that. Something like that, maybe? Yeah, I think it's like that. I don't remember. The problem though is if you don't do it here on the side, maybe it does go like that. Honestly, I'm not all that impressed with this, as you can probably tell. So I'm just gonna collapse that there. But if you yeah, it goes like that. If you do it on the side here, like the instructions kind of tell you to do, you may have some clearance issues there. So I just do it there, kind of push it off on the side, and then you can rotate it there, and then you can push it all the way in like that. I feel like that's not supposed to be gappy there, but then take this, rotate this around, plug that in, and then you can spin that around, and then take this entire torso and rotate that around like that. And there you have Shockwave. Oh well, rotate that around. There you have him in his robot mode. Robot mode looks pretty good. I honestly, I don't have much of a problem with this. He is a little bit smaller, obviously. I don't have, again, any figures here to do a comparison with, so I do apologize, but, well, actually, I do. Here we have him with Deluxe Class Counterpunch, because Counterpunch is the Decepticon, so I'm going to bring in the Decepticon, but you can see that he's about a Voyager size. Obviously not as intricate as a figure like this, but you know, he's, you know, pretty decent. And hey, let's test this new iPhone thing. Let's see if I can determine how tall he is. So there's that point, and then you go to the top of the head here. And according to the iPhone, he's 7.5 inches or so. So there you go. But pretty decent, I do think. Again, you get that nice color coming through here. You get a little bit more of this pinkish kind of electrified throughout the entire figure. Really great looking head sculpt. The overall presence of him really does look like Shockwave. The only thing that's really missing would be like the hose. But he looks the part. The really only lacking aspect would be he doesn't, and that kind of pops out. He doesn't have an elbow on this arm, which is kind of unfortunate. The rest of our articulation, he does have a swivel at the head. That head sculpt looks amazing. He's got like a dual eye thing there. I don't know what's going on there, and it's actually like painted there, so I don't understand that. But you got this over there. You have a ball joint for both of the shoulders, so you get a nice range of motion there. Both of them have a swivel at the upper part of the bicep. The right arm here does have a hinge, which is nice. You can rotate that around, but there's nothing there on that one. That one kind of sucks. I don't know why they really couldn't have engineered that in there. Maybe put it up at the little upper section. But they didn't. Obviously, because of the transformation, he does have a waist rotation. You have a ball joint down here for the hips. Nothing really in terms of rotation, although the ball joint is a fairly large one. So as you can see, you can kind of get a thigh rotation there. He bends here at the knee just at one point. It kind of would look like there's two, but nothing is doing there. And then the feet are actually on ball joints. So that really helps get a lot of really cool poses for him. I guess in both robot as well as tank crab mode, I suppose. I don't know even honestly what you would call that. But overall, a decent figure. Now, to transform him back, we're going to basically just kind of flop him backwards. Take this whole back section here, detach this, rotate that around, and then this whole thing spins around, and basically you have a little hole right here that you kind of fit inside that little section right there, which is where things kind of move along to get that little cannon thing. And again, the cannon gimmick, I should have left that in there. The cannon gimmick still works here in this mode. It's a little bit easier to use this lever though in the actual robot mode. So that's all obviously still there. So we're going to rotate that around like that. This here, you're going to drop it, take this, and you fold this piece out. This often will pop right out of the little pegs right there. You're going to rotate this around and then pull this out. I guess you could use this as a secondary arm if you really wanted to. You wouldn't have a hand, but you wouldn't have a hand here, but I guess you can use that as another arm. If you wanted to use this as like an elbow joint, I guess you could kind of do that. Again, no hand, but hey, if you wanted to, you could do it. So take this, bring this out. We're going to fold this out and around. Take this whole section, lift this up. I kind of wish that will lock into place, but it, alas, does not. Kind of take that there. And then you just rotate this all the way around to make his little front feet things. And then you take this torso, I forgot to do this, rotate this around. There we go. And then just bend his legs. And there you have him back. I mean, there you have him back in crab cannon mode. Yeah, it's a fairly weak looking alternate mode. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in. Remember, if you like this review, I would really appreciate your support by letting me know simply by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. As for Shockwave here, I think obviously the weakest part here is his little cannon thing. I just feel like this is really silly and kind of meh. I mean, it's accurate, I would imagine, but I just don't think it really works all that well. And the gimmick I don't feel is very fun, at least here in the tank thing mode. And I think it looks kind of stupid. The transformation, obviously, there's really not much to it. It's a ridiculously simple transformation. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I think kids will enjoy that simplicity. As I've said in the previous ones, I feel like these new Cyberverse figures from this series are kind of a step up from what they were doing with the robots in disguise stuff. So it's a little bit more of an improvement, getting, you know, more along the lines of these kind of guys. You know, it's slowly bringing kids along, and that works for me. Robot mode, I think, looks really good. I think all the colors, even here in the alternate mode here, the colors look really nice. And as I said, my girlfriend likes it, so I guess it works. But the robot mode definitely is the best mode of this. He looks really good. The head sculpt looks nice. The proportions all look really good. Definitely has a very Shockwave look to him. So if you're looking for a good Shockwave for robot mode, I would say that this guy would fit. He looks pretty decent. The only downside, like I said, is the lack of an elbow in his giant cannon arm. But other than that, the robot mode comes across decently. So all that being said, if you're looking for him, he is available right now at various retail locations. Or as always, you can keep your eyes open at Big Bad Toy Store. For that, I'll put a link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But before I go, I want to send a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. Also, a huge shout out to all of my patrons, who through their continued support now more than ever help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.